Well done. You celebrate going into the new year with a 7-point lead at the top of the table. Bukayo, how does that sound?
Sounds amazing. You know, of course, at the start of the season, if you asked us if we'd want this, we'd bat your hands off. So we're really happy.
Martin, how much was it in your minds going into this game that opportunity was there after the Manchester City result?
No, to be honest, as we said many times, we focus on ourselves. We don't care about the other teams. We came here, we wanted to get the 3 points, and that's all. We don't focus too much on the other teams, so we focus on ourselves. And 3 points was everything today, and we did it.
They gave you perhaps a more anxious second half, Brighton, than you might have imagined at one point.
Yeah, I think we need to control the game a little bit better. I think we let them into the game twice there, so... but it's a difficult team to play against. Very good on the ball. Very good team. So it's difficult. But I think we can do better in some parts of the game. You know.
Bukayo, you scored very, very early on. What emphasis was there today on a fast start?
No, there was a big emphasis. You know, we know how hard it is to come here in recent seasons as well, and with the weather as well, it wasn't so easy. But you know, with that goal nice and early, it set us up.
It's a great finish as well because you had to control a ball that had taken a couple of deflections.
Yeah, I couldn't believe it fell for me. So when it fell, I just had to show some composure and try and put it in the far corner, and I'm happy I did.
Martin, you were on target again as well. Perhaps not the greatest goal you've ever scored, but the timing was crucial.
I think it was a great goal. A great finish.
Fantastic finish.
Another important goal, and happy to help the team, you know, with goals and assists, and that's what I want to do, you know, help the team as much as possible. So very happy to do that again.
The fourth goal probably turned out to be perhaps more important than you thought at the time. Tell us about it, and more importantly, your part in it.
I just saw it was a lot of space in behind, and you know, our wingers are so quick, so just to get the ball in the right space and put a good speed on the ball, and then it's not easy to stop Martinelli there, so it was a great goal.
Bukayo, there is a long, long way to go in the season, we know, but what opportunity are you sensing here and now for Arsenal?
As you said, you know, it's a great opportunity we have, and it's a great place we've put ourselves in, but you know, we're not focused on that right now. You know, we just want to continue to focus on the next game because we know how good Newcastle have been playing, so that's our only focus right now.
Guys, another big win today. Martin, you're also the player of the match. Bukayo, if you wouldn't mind doing the honours for us.
Thank you.
Well done, guys.
Cool.
Thanks, Greg.
And well deserved at that, no?
Absolutely, yeah. He's been fantastic all season, Martin Odegaard, and he's actually getting better as the season's going, as the games get more and more pressurised. He seems to be finding more space, doing more beautiful things. Like I say, at the moment, he's one of the best creative players in the league. So that coincides with everybody else playing well as well. Saka doing what he's doing, Eddie Nketiah coming in, Martinelli doing Partey. There's such a big emphasis on everybody doing well in different departments that it's coming together for Arsenal at the moment. So long may it continue.
Absolutely. And in terms of Martin Odegaard, as a midfielder yourself, what do you admire most about him?
You have I'm saying ordinary midfielders. You have midfielders that can win games for you, and that's what he is. He's a match winner. He finds those moments, and we've seen it in tight areas, how he can just make something out of nothing. He finds passes. He sees them early. We've seen that in Martinelli's goal, how early he's seen and identified the space beyond for him to play that pass. Good midfielders or world-class midfielders find that, and you know, he's playing like a world-class midfielder right now. He just finds them moments that win games for you.
He's doing everything. He's scoring, he's linking, he's assisting, he's doing everything at the moment. He's really playing that captain's role brilliantly.
Is it quite difficult as an Arsenal fan to keep your feet on the ground?
Yeah.
I've been trying to pin right down.
No.
I know, it is. It is because there's a lot of people who are, don't get me wrong, Seema, there's people waiting for Arsenal to slip up.
Yeah.
Of course they are, because they're thinking, this won't last. At the moment, they're going with the momentum. Listen to the guys, they're sounding so professional. They're just taking the next game as it comes, and that's all we should do as fans. But don't stop the joy. No. You know what I mean?
You've got to enjoy the
absolutely.
journey.
You've got to enjoy
well.
you've got to enjoy the moment. People always want to be the celebration police. Enjoy the moment, because this is the time to enjoy it. You know, when your team's winning.
I think you can see that with them. I think you see that in the interviews, you see that at the end of the game, how they are with each other. But I think it was important what Odegaard said there is that they're focused on winning their game. They would have known that Manchester City had dropped some points. They would have known that Newcastle. But before that, they were going in this game to get 3 points. That's a bonus for them. What they're going in, their focus is to get the 3 points from each game. I think that's what the shift is from last year. They probably focused on other people around them. This year, it's solely us, our supporters, and what we can keep control of.
And that's the thing with the supporters. I want the supporters to enjoy it while it's happening.
Yeah.
Because there's too many people waiting for it to go wrong. Enjoy the moment.
Absolutely. And we all know, I mean, we've mentioned it a few times, that this is, of course, Arsenal's best ever Premier League start. And there you go. I mean, they're not top of the list there, but look at what the teams above them have done with 46 points, and they've gone on to finish first. And that's just to get you even more excited, righty, without trying to get you excited.
It goes back a long way. Look, Tottenham,
It
61, don't it? It's a long time.
It is.
But at the same time, Seema, it doesn't...
There's a little smile on his face.
Yeah, it doesn't mean anything. You don't want to be seeing stuff like that, because at the end of the day, there's
There's a lot
of season left. There's a lot of season left.
There is.
You know what? 7 points sounds like a lot. We spoke about it before. It's not much. They've got to play Manchester City twice. They've still got Newcastle. So teams around them, Arsenal's still going to face. But as you say, you've got to enjoy these moments, because they are in tremendous form, and collectively, and I'm talking from out to in terms of their fans, management, staff, players, they just seem collectively together. And when you've got a group of players that are buying into one thing, at the end of it normally comes success.
Yeah, that's dangerous.
Well, let's look back at the match, shall we? But let's start with the second half. And it started well for them, didn't it?
It did start well for them, because you're thinking, Brighton will be feeling, they probably had a talk in there, what they're going to do and what they're going to try and do. So to concede a goal this early in the second half, it's not ideal. When you look at where it came from, from Thomas Partey there, I don't see too much urgency from the Brighton guys trying to get back. It's not like Arsenal are blasting forward. There's not enough hard work there for me from the Brighton players to get back. And it's still, you've got a one-on-one situation over there. Eddie Nketiah's movement's fantastic there. He keeps on the move when the shot's in, and they just beat Lewis Dunk to the punch there. But that, again, is what you need. And I'm sure when Brighton look back at that, they'll realise that they just weren't quite concentrating enough. Started the game and started at half-time, and they got punished on both occasions.
Yeah, early on in both halves, right? But then Brighton did manage to find the back of the net by Matoma, who was particularly impressive. Was he not, Farah?
Yeah, he was really good down his left-hand side for Brighton. It was a really composed finish, marginally, kept himself on side here. But it was the movement of the second striker there that just opened up the gap between the defenders. And look, you can see the centre-halves come out. I think Saliba's come out there. And then, as you say, Matota was just free, just here. He's just on side. But it's the way he just cushions it there, puts it into his path and passes it into the back of the net. It's a really good finish. But I think their movement, Whitey, in the second half was better, which opened up the
When
defenders.
you looked as well, Farah, when you looked at where they picked that ball up from, Arsenal were closing them in the first half. They didn't have that much time on the ball to play it through like that. And we saw it again where, they got just that bit of time. And again, they just haven't got quite enough people in the box, just to finish off, because a couple of times Arsenal kind of lacked a little bit of concentration. But this is the goal. You've got to be tighter on Ødegaard than that. Especially when you've got somebody with the pace of Martinelli. He doesn't look to pass that or anything. But when you look at where Ødegaard is, you see the midfielders there. He's got to get tighter to him, because that can happen, and you can't stop it. You can't stop it. So you've got to be tighter on someone like him, because he'll find a pass like that. People say, well, there's so much space to pass it into. Not if you're tight on him, because you've got to realise that he's dangerous in every aspect of the game when he's got that kind of time and space.
Absolutely brilliant ball there, right?
Fantastic ball into space.
The pass from Xhaka into him, the weight of it into Ødegaard allows him to play that first-time pass, but he sees it. This is what we was talking about, where Arsenal centre-half just got a little stretch at times, and they was able to have runs. I think it's Ferguson here. He just runs between the middle of the centre-halves, and They got caught a couple of times here, Arsenal. I think Saliba here just switches off. I think he tried to allow the ball to roll across him, made a slight mistake, and Ferguson sniffs danger here. And it was, really, again, another composed finish from Brighton.
It's very seldom you see a mistake from Saliba. But the thing with that, again, is that for me, Arsenal concentration there, they've got to go tighter. Can't give Lewis Dunk that time to play a ball like that, especially if you're going to have somebody running off like Ferguson did and ran so well and no one's picking him up. Obviously, it's a mistake from William Saliba, but at the same time, Arsenal kind of just lacked a little bit of concentration in closing down the spaces.
And is that all about game management at that point?
I think so, yeah, because obviously they were comfortable in the game. So you're feeling like, oh, this is going really well. And that's all it takes sometimes, a little lapse in concentration, and then bam, they score. And you can see how they came towards the end there.
It's clear, and I know Arsenal fans love hearing it over and over again. We're going to hopefully hear from Arteta very soon. But how impressed overall have you been with just how this team have evolved under him?
To be honest, it's no surprise with the way that he works the team, the culture, everything what he's changed, the young management team, everything what he's put in place between him and Edu and Vinay, what they tried to do, they've now got it. They've had to move a lot of players out to try and get people in. the recruitment's in a different way now, the way they're all focusing on what they want. They're not rushing into buys now. So I'm not surprised that with a young team that he's got and with his energy and enthusiasm for the game, doesn't surprise me that we're doing as well as we're doing. But I'm really pleased, simply because I know that the work that he expects from the players, he's getting now. And there's no fat on this meat at the minute. Everybody's pulling their weight.
And you know, this time last year, Arsenal were 15 points behind Manchester City. Now they are 7 points clear of them at the top of the table. Let's hear from the Gunners boss. Here he is, Mikel Arteta.
Big win against a really good side. We had big moments, especially attacking open spaces, the way they play. We were ruthless, we were really clinical, we had some great moments, and then as well there were moments we have to dig in and suffer because they put you in trouble. They are a really good side.
Could you have done without the stress of the latter stages of the game?
It's part. If you expect to come against this Brighton team here and play them off the park and don't concede anything, it's extremely difficult, especially the way they play. So it was a big test for us to win again, 2 in a row after the period. Is a big win, and now into the next one.
What difference do you feel scoring so early had on the game as a whole?
I don't know. I think the game had moments. Obviously, we started really fast after the first one. I think we have 2 or 3 big chances again to put the game in a much comfortable there. But the game was never finished. You could have the feeling that they were going to take everything that they could forward and commit a lot of players forward and really chase your last line, and they did. And we had to manage in certain moments some difficult situations.
But knowing what you were up against today, and we talked about the Brighton threat before the game, was it very much part of the game plan that you made a fast start?
It was, but as well to suffer and to dig in difficult moments. We knew that we're going to have periods where we have to see that a little bit deeper, because that's the way they play. They have a lot of players next to the ball, really short relationships, where they want to attract you there, and you have to prevent that happening as much as possible. But as well, I think we were a real threat every time we were around the final third.
2 goals in 2 games. Just how ideal a start has Eddie Nketiah made to the challenge that's in front of him now?
Great. I think his contribution again today, the way he worked, the way he understood what he had to do, the way he brought the team together, especially when they were pressing really, really high, was really good, and I'm really pleased with his goal again.
Yeah, it feels really positive to talk about Nketiah in such a positive way, given the fact that there was so much around the fact that Jesus was injured. Would he be able to step into that particular role? And he's managed to deliver.
Yeah, we're talking somebody who's come through the academy, somebody who they've got a lot of faith in, and they've shown a lot of faith, put a lot of faith in him. And now with the main number 9 out, and he's coming in there to try and to fill the void, and he's doing it. You know, like Mikel said, he's linking the play well. He's scored a couple of goals, what I've seen, where you don't see Jesus maybe score. A goal he scored the other day against West Ham, and a goal he sniffed out today. Are the kind of goals he'll get, but what he's also added to his game is the link-up play, the running off the ball. All that is part of what's happening to make this team move and work how it's working.
You know what he's done? I feel like he showed a different type of energy. So when he's had his moments this year, they've been off the left-hand side or the right. You know, when Martinelli was injured for that period, he got his chance out on the left. Playing down the 9, right down the centre is where he's wanted to play, and he's had his chances. And you've just seen a different energy level about him in that position, I think.
And I think they're going to need his energy and the energy of all of the players when you look at the fixtures that are coming up.